I mean, could be. Could be. You never know. Could be. Oh. You know what would be great? Is if for just like, maybe just like, give me like 3 days. Give me like 3 days where it's not 110. I don't think it's. I don't think I'm being insane, right? I don't think it's ridiculous. I go outside fairly routinely to do dumb things like record videos, and it'll be 100 degrees by 9 in the morning. I mean, I do live in the desert, yeah. I do live in the desert. But this is extreme even for us. The overnight low last night was 80. The coldest it got was 80. So based on that, it's gonna be really difficult. Like, I've just had a fan blowing. Like, you have to have a fan blowing at you constantly. There has to be air moving over you to promote evaporative cooling. Like, my throat hurts all the time because I've got a fan. I have to sleep with a fan blowing in my face. And I know I've lived here my whole life, literally. It doesn't mean that it doesn't suck. Air conditioning will make the electric bill $800. Our electric bill now is like $700. If we had central air, we would be easily over $1,000 a month, easily. So blowing air through water is the only chance we got. That and fans. We own like 8 evaporative coolers. And, they keep threatening us. They're like, it's going to be the biggest El Nino ever. And I'm like, okay, sure. All right. Whatever you say. I will, I'll be sure to stock up on whatever we need to manage that. And then it won't happen. I'm so happy to be in the UK for once. There's like 150 a month for electric. Yeah, this is California, so that's everything expensive all the time. Everything is incredibly expensive. Our water bill is like $150 a month. Electricity, I would say across the year, probably averages right around $500 a month for electricity. Oh, I need to get a CPAP to get the medical baseline. Oh, man. I'm going to tell them I can't stop snoring, and they got to put me on the sleep snorkel just so I can get the discount on electricity. I'll take it. Who asked if it's a mat? It's a mat. It's a mat. The old one was getting a little knackered. How is your supply water temp for the Swampert? That's the thing. It's so hot. So hot that the water out of the tap is, I mean, it's cooler than your mouth, but it's almost like leaving a glass of water out on the counter. Did you see the videos from the Nepal China flood? My Instagram feed that night was basically nothing but that. That's crazy. That was crazy. And I love it's the way that all of those things work. Either 100 people died or 500 people died or 10,000 people died or some amount of people died. That thing, man. I keep talking about it to the kid that Instagram is the place you now go to watch people die. Any interest in building an WSD leafer? Well, I've never built one. And I'm interested in building anything I haven't built before. What am I talking about? I'll build anything. You can't stop me. Well, no. That's not true. You can kind of stop me. Because I have a number of builds that I want to do before the end of the year. And I am in what can only be classified as an absolute link shortage. I can't build. I have 3 chassis in a pile over there, and I can't build any of them because I don't have links for any of them. My collection and selection of high clearance links is dwindling rapidly. I've got straight links in all of the lengths that I don't use. Solar panels are not an option for me. They are this much more of an option for me than they were, say, 5 years ago. Because if you were to travel in a line that extended out from this bench, and you were to travel about 75 feet right over there, there was a pine tree that was 70 feet tall and real big, and it covered the whole yard. And then it blew down in the wind one day. All of our lawn died. A great many things died. Some of the trees that were being sheltered by the big pine also died. They couldn't handle the raw brunt of the sun. And it basically, after about 11:30 a.m., well, the combination of that, if you were to travel that way, not even to the edge of the building, about 20 feet from where I'm standing, there's another 70-foot pine tree. And then directly behind me, there's a 60-foot tall floss silk tree. So the only reason that it kind of stays reasonable inside here is that this building is shaded almost all the time. But it is metal, so when the sun does start to hit it, like this building really starts to heat up around 4 p.m., between 4 and 5 p.m. But usually by then I'm out of here, so it's not that much of a problem. And then it's cold in the winter. That's the desert for you. But I could put on a sweatshirt. Someone had mentioned that they were, they noticed that winter here had been canceled because they said that I was only wearing a sweatshirt in like 5 different videos. And that could actually honestly be true. I went back to Thurman Flats to film a video, and I pulled into the parking lot at 7:25 in the morning, and at 7:25 in the morning at Thurman Flats, which is at about 3,500 feet of elevation, it was 85 degrees. They sell mini splits at the Lowe's now. I guess that's how mainstream the mini split is. The difference is in California, where everything costs entirely too much. Whatever you do, don't come here. You can come here to visit. Definitely don't try to come here. The kid that works at the Wendy's makes $22 an hour. It's just rampant inflation. I'm at like 1,300 feet. Would you consider winter as a disgrace? Winters below freezing snow and ice? Yeah, well, no. Maryland has like... That's the East Coast winter, a.k.a. Satan's butthole, and y'all can keep it. Y'all can keep it. You guys get absolutely ruined with 85 degrees and 85% humidity, just like that's some kind of a normal thing. It's 104 outside. Last I saw the thermometer, it was 104 outside. But our humidity is probably still below 20%. Because once again, it's a desert. Yeah. 104, 18%. Yeah, and Dave, mind you, that's the kid that works at the Wendy's to start. Where my wife works, starting pay for anyone in her department is like $31 an hour. That's where they start. And it's not like you make more money. Everything just costs that much more. You know, the combo meal at the local fast foodery of your choice is $15 to $20 for one person. And everything costs a fortune. And the weather's good most of the time. But sometimes not so much. They threaten us. I want to say it's like they're promising us an El Nino condition. It's gonna rain. It never rains. This is the desert. You say that about all our RC parts at the same price? Yeah, and your RC parts cost way more than ours. Yeah, if you were to go to Carl's Jr. right now and get a famous combo upsized to medium, it's about $18 or so, something like that. It makes other things. What it does. Here's what California does. California makes it easy to do tiny toy cars and stuff like that, because I had long said that I had this barrier where, like, I don't even question $20. What is $20? Like, that's a combo meal from a fast food place. A tank of gas, $80. So if I'm like, well, I could get this servo and I could save like $10, or I could buy a nice one and spend the extra $10, and then my electric bill shows up and it's $787 for the month. And I'm like, what difference does it make? If I spend a little bit more on the servo, at least I have a servo to show for it. Everything else I spend money on, I can get nothing. I would say, I think it's 6 months. I think it's 6 months exactly. Every 6 months, our internet service gets more expensive. It goes up, and then it goes up, and then it goes up, and then it goes up. Just when you're starting to get comfortable with it, they're like, well, they're getting comfortable with it. Time to raise it another $10. Time to raise it another $10. And it's like, I guess what they're hoping is that no one has archived their emails. You know, 10 years ago, we were paying $59.99 for our internet service, which at the time to me sounded insane. And now it's $120 a month. I swear to God, I'm gonna murder most of you. I'm gonna find a way to convert myself into pixies, and I'm gonna go in through the camera, and I'm gonna come out of your internet, and I'm just gonna light you all on fire. Yeah, it's a desk mat. It's a new mat. Would you prefer this side up? I will move all of this stuff out of the way so I can flip it over, and then you'll have to deal with this thing looking like a dominatrix. Yes. Oh man, I bent it, and it took like 3 days for this thing to lay flat. Yes, it's new, and the old one started off exactly like this. It looked just like this. And then it was here for 5 years. Yeah, everybody's on about the mat. The mat is bigger now. So stuff is not exactly. Looks like it fills. It goes all the way. It goes all the way under those guys. And where are you? It was so long that I cut that much. See, this is what you'll end up with. How do you like it? How do you feel now? How about now, smart guy? Was it too shiny? How about now? So, I was out here for hours just trying to piece stuff together to try to get something to put together. I measured it too. So whatever they sell, whatever they call this length is not right. Because I measured from there to right to here. Oh, the ants are back at the thing again, by the way. From there to there is 5 feet. They didn't have a 5-foot mat. I couldn't get a 24 by 60. So I bought a 24 by 72. 5 feet is 1 foot less than 6 feet. I should have cut off 1 foot. This seems like more than, this is 32 inches long. So how long of a mat did they sell me? I mean, I'm not complaining. I'll use this somewhere. And no, the ant problem is 100% not fixed. No, the ants are after water. The ants are after water, and so the taros are down. That's what they're after. I had a 6-pack. This is the last taro that I have left. I've deployed 5 of them. And they would come and fill them up, and then all the ants would disappear. And you'd be like, hooray! The ants have stopped. And then they would come back. And then they stop again. And then they come back. And they haven't emptied it yet. The one that they've been working on is, I'd still say 2/3 full. And it's been there for over a week. Opposite of shrinkflation. Because if this is 5 foot, and that's 32 inches, they sent me like an almost 8 foot roll. I have my fingers crossed. My most recent purchase from sheetlabels.com shipped this morning. And I have no assumptions that they'll have gotten the math wrong again. Oh, but God, I hope they do. I hope they get their math wrong. Because I'm still giving away stickers. I better have 4 of these. I think these are my last 4. And I only see 3. That's not great. Why would I only have 3? Well, I do have one that I made. If it's what has to do, it's what I'll have to do. Yeah, I did. I hadn't run an ant stream last week. How do I only have 3 of these dumb pins? Why does the universe have to work against me all the time? Oh, I don't even need the pins. This has got a Mia skid on it, and the Mia skid just uses screws. Oh, Mr. Scurvy, in regard to the twins, can't be done. They would have to be completely reconfigured. I tried to do it. I tried to do it in a way that I thought was clever, which is, let's see if I can find them. They're in the little drawer. Okay. So here's the two different roll centers, and then I got even smarter and I took this one to the table saw and I made it to where you can test both sets of roll centers on one skid. Right? I thought that was a pretty good idea. You cannot fit these skids on the twins at all. The way I configured their gearboxes can't happen. Does not fit. You can't even mount the gearbox with that skid. I don't know what I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. But I honestly I tried to move the parts over. I tried to do it, I think, Saturday, and was wholly unsuccessful. Nope. I don't remember this skid coming with any hardware either. That's not a 30. So it turned in the whole morning. The whole morning turned into a thing, which is I had an intention of what I wanted to work on. Couldn't do it. Build something with that skid so we can see the difference. Well, if I had any links, I could. But here's the amount of links I have. I have a variety of straight links in none of the lengths that I use. And I have a variety of high clearance links in none of the lengths that I use. High clearance 55, 60, 65, and 70, which to all of you add 20 because I only measure the shoulder to shoulder measurement. So that would be 90s, 85s, 80s, and 75s. I have nothing, zero, no links in that link. If we're talking 75 and 80 high clearance, which is 95 or 100 to the rest of you, I have so many of them, I have to keep them in a little bin because I have too many to fit in the link drawers. Then if we go to longer lengths, I've got 115s and 110s, and then nothing else above that. In straights, I have everything except 80s, 85s, 90s, and 95s. And yes, that is what you need to use almost all the time. Did you order your bits and pieces for your 10 Pro axles? I did. Where did I put them? The only tubes that I could get a hold of were red. And the rear axle, when you try to turn like this, terrible. I think it's just pinion mesh because it's fine on there. And then there's that guy. I need to order one more pair of aluminum or brass C-hubs because I don't think the plastic C-hubs on that portal set are gonna hold up for very long. That's a lot of leverage on those poor things. So with my luck, they're probably gonna die sooner rather than later. I can send you a set of links that were supposed to be on the September giveaway, but they are kind of shite. Are you waiting for my sets to arrive? I haven't. It was too late. I don't shop properly. I probably still have a little bit of money that I haven't spent yet. You know, I mean, I got paid a week ago. I got paid last Friday, so you know I spent it all. And that's the thing. I just tend to order, like, here's what I'm working with today. I'm hoping that out of these, I can find 8 links so that we can get this thing put together. And this is a giveaway rig. When? Who cares? Like, what does it matter? I did a thing, which is, you know, in terms of the stupid things that I do on any given day, one of my stupider things that I've done, where I thought to myself, you know what's a great idea? Let's give a rig away every month for all of 2026. Why not? It seems like it sounded like a good idea at the time, and I incepted myself into doing it. And now we fast forward, we're like 8, almost 9, we're almost into the 9th month of the year, and I'm depleted. Like, if I have a pair of axles, I don't have a gearbox to go with those axles. If I have an axle and a gearbox that do to go together, I don't have an ESC motor combo to, like, I don't have any links, nor a gearbox, nor axles to fit that. The axles that I'd put in the box with it absolutely won't work. I tried putting this together. I don't have something. There's something that I don't have for this. Started at about 6:30 in the morning. Digging through bins. Oh, I found an, are you doing the monthly giveaway next year? Because I don't remember a giveaway this year. You know what? I'll allow it. I can tell. I can tell that, like, we've got some real sons of bitches in the chat today. It's fine. It's fine. Like, that's fine. I'm gonna keep plugging along. And we'll see how it goes. You know? No promises, no guarantees. I think PG-13 realm is the one F-bomb. You get the one F-bomb. I could go for a nap. I'm not lying. It's too hot all the time. I'm too tired all the time. Okay, I did get a good laugh out of Put Me on the Wheel. That's solid. That's solid. So what we're doing is a build far more in the spirit of what I should be doing, which is, I don't know, okay. I don't know what I'm doing. What's the proper way to get a link measurement? I need 132 millimeter eye to eye and 150 millimeter eye to eye links using Incision Pro rod ends. How can I get the measurement for Vanquish Builders links? Easily, my friend, easily. All you need, it helps to have 2, okay? It helps to have 2, but you can get away with 1 ruler. 2 is obviously going to be better. So he says he's using Incision rod ends, which are basically just the same as Traxxas shorts, but I might have some of the little gray guys. There's 1. And there's 2. So let me deploy the clamp. You want me to give him the clamps, boss? I didn't even think about camera 2 today. By the way, thanks to the man from Tennessee and CE1622. Thanks for keeping the dream alive, guys. You know what I'm saying? Well, the thing is, I will not be able to adequately nor accurately position the rulers to show this in a method as straightforward as I would like. So, you want me to give him the clamps, boss? Now, if I take this and loop this around this spray bottle, okay, it's not hanging down on the camera. Get this, and then we'll put a little zoom on it. Okay, look at this. Think that's 3? Come on. Just when I thought everything was great. You're gonna get yourself a ruler, whatever size ruler you like. You said you need 132 eye to eye, so you're gonna, it helps if they got balls in them. You're gonna go right there, and then the other one, you're gonna go 132. Then you're gonna take ruler number 2, and you're gonna go like this. Shoulder to shoulder, that's 95. See the 95? And a typical link is going to be 10 millimeters on either end of that. So you want a link that's like 115, 112. I know Vanquish does weird increments. So you're going to want like 113, 114, 115, 116, something like that. It's always better to err a little shorter. Like a 116 might be a little too long. But a 114 be absolutely fine. But you're going to be looking for something around a 115. And then if we wanted a 150, slide that down. And we are approximately, that would be a 135. Because, zoom. Because shoulder to shoulder, which is why I always measure shoulder to shoulder, is about what's out? 114? So that'd be like 134. You know what? I'm just going to let it run. When it gets hot, it leaks more. When you say shoulder to shoulder, when I say shoulder to shoulder, to which I am referring is... So I would have this. I'm looking for my guy. I would have this in a drawer that says 35 millimeters. It's actually 36, but I'd have it in the 35s. So we're at 36. This is a Vanquish, that's why it's an on length. And then the overall length is 55. So it's about a 35 with an additional 10 on each length. So I go shoulder to shoulder measurement, because that's the safest way to measure things. Hey, we're all full. When you say you like your links level with the ground on bent links, does that mean ball to ball or the rod itself? What I mean is, who's nearby? Is there anybody nearby? Then we got to get the board. Okay. So if we were sitting level, which we roughly are, you see the front links are basically parallel with each other, parallel with the ground, right? And then in the rear, parallel with the skid, so it's even with the skid, and then we have whatever this angle is, which happens in this instance to be even with the drive shaft. So it would be more like a plane. If there was an invisible... If this guy was going from hollow ball to hollow ball, it would basically be... It would almost be in a straight parallel line. So if we have something that doesn't have a high clearance... I can't think of anybody that isn't filthy. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Look at those guys. Ka-chow. Straight links front and rear. Just. There you go. Parallel to the ground. Three random size brand high clearance link sets en route. Amazon says we've been tomorrow. Hey. Trust me, they will get used. Except for what won't get used are some that I'm going to take out of that bag. And here's what, okay. I have something written on the whiteboard. Because I have, where are they? This is should be a 75-95. 75-95. I cannot express to you how many of these I have. If I said I have 50 of these, I have more than that. I want to cut a chassis specifically to use these because it's the only way I'm going to get rid of them. All of these 313 link sets come with those stupid 95 millimeter links, and then I can't use them for anything. Oh, hey. It's noticeable. It's a little noticeable. Yeah. Hey.
Thought I'd come and show you.
I'm fighting with these. Let's be generous and call them humans. We could just say people, I guess. Fighting with these people. Has there been a build where shocks were used for links? It would not be good. Links that could change their length during travel would be catastrophic. And I can tell you this from the experience that as Baseline was getting his wheelbase corrected to meet the body, I thought, well, I don't need to change those uppers. I'll just run plastic uppers and metal lowers. You can't do that. Those plastic links will fold up like a noodle during articulation because now the whole thing can't flex at once. The bottom won't flex, but the top will. And I think I broke all of them. I think I broke all 4 uppers. It would just tear the end of the link off, right? Because, they're all one piece. But it would tear that little part off right there at the end. I mean, they're also they're not extraordinarily well made. I realize I can't actually go any farther until stuff is centered. Yeah, she was only here for a moment. She's probably got to eat lunch still. Let's make sure that neither of those ends aren't touching each other or the same piece of metal, because even if I don't pull the trigger, I can just feel the day coming for me, as they say. I can't put the gearbox together. What would be the second best brush motor after the big blocks? Honestly, probably the Injora, the cheapy, the $15 Injora 35 turn. That motor's okay. Like, it's absolutely fine. And then right behind that, maybe one of the Johnson 550s, the $9 Johnson 550s from Amazon. They're not, like, there's not a lot of fidelity there, but, like, if you were going to take something out on the trails, and I'm not a big proponent, I don't actively recommend, okay, look, how is that receiver paired to this radio? I just bought that receiver. Do I have two others that I didn't see? One. Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind. Crisis averted. I must have pulled that out of something, because that's crazy. Okay, we need channel 4. Channel 4 on SWID. That's what I was worried about. No, we need it on Liquid. That might be a little too much throw. I'm just saying. Oh man, I'm looking forward to some involuntary unconsciousness. How much is a big block Holmes, or is Revolver better value? I don't look at Holmes motors. I mean, the Surpass Big Block is basically the consumer version of the Holmes Magnum, which he sells for $175. I ordered an Injora LCG transmission today, and they sent me the wrong one. Who the hell uses a transparent transmission? Those acrylic ones are terrible. Absolutely terrible. Not to be lived with. Okay, there should be no trim on that. So it needs to go this way. Okay. All right. Did you see the new Furatech censored? From what I understand, it's awesome. Did anybody else hear that it's awesome? I bet it's awesome. If I were to pick a thing to say that it is, there are some who would say it's awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is... game changer. Oh, man. I bet it breaks right into the tabletop gaming store, changes all the games. Just changes them. The game you were playing before, you show up next day, different game. Game changed. Can't even stop it. Look. Ignoring the fact that we kind of but is it a cheat code? Oh. Is it a cheat code? Damn. That's a good question. I don't have an answer, but It's a good question. You thought you were playing chess? Well, you're playing backgammon now, loser. Amazing. Do I need a light controller? Not unless you want it to do stuff. Is Injora headlight taillight kit decent with magnetic connectors? I've never bought one. I really do like those Injora magnetic connectors, though. But I've never used one of their light kits. I might be going for my first trail crawl tomorrow if I can find out if the trail is big enough for my chair. Oh. If it's changing the game itself, it can be a cheat code because a cheat code just lets you make the current game easier. I feel like we need to diagram this. Like, this needs a flow chart. Like, it needs to come down with, like, does it change the game? Yes, no. Is it a cheat code? Yes. And then, of course, all the circles. And is it awesome? And then, like, it says, is it new? Yes. And then there's just a bypass arrow that goes all the way down and just says, it's awesome. Is it a cheat code for the old game or the new game, though? Yeah, what if it's a cheat code for the old game and now you're playing the new game? Is it the greatest of all time? Every new thing that is subsequently released after the old thing is by default the greatest of all time. There's really no alternative. We need a bingo card of phrases and do a live watch review of other new reviews. Oh my God. Well, I mean, obviously, Game Changer is on there. Cheat Code. That does sound great, though. Not good for a drinking game, though. You'd all get drunk. Why would you advertise if you're cheating? It takes all the fun out of it, right? I want a cheat code. And I've yet to meet one. And I mean that genuinely and truly. I've never met a commercial product that I have bought and said, I feel like owning this gives me an absolute overwhelming advantage over anyone that doesn't have this. Maybe it's out there. Maybe I'm just too out in the cold and I don't know what's good. I haven't been close enough to the game to get it to change. They dropped 2 new classes for Elden Ring, and frankly, I'm ready to drop 200 plus more hours onto it, on top of the 5,000 hours I already have. Whoa. I've never played it. I'm very efficient at not playing video games. There are the games that I play, and then there are the games that I don't. Okay, so I feel like we're going to need to turn the endpoints on this down to, like, absolutely nothing. I've been practicing with single-hand remote here in the driveway. Nice! Yeah, see, I mean, Jay Lobus has proven that many of us are old. When we think cheat code, it's something that just allows you to beat the game. Air conditioning was a game changer, right, England? I think some of them have it. I think most of them do not. I mean, I don't feel like I can any longer say that I can't drive and record at the same time because I do it all the time. I think it definitely does impact ability. I think I can drive better with two hands than I can with one hand. Okay, how the hell does this go? It goes just like that. Is this the wrong thing? I mean, I don't think there's another thing. No, that's the same thing. I still have 3 of these little guys. On the last wheel on Wednesday, I could almost smell the bridge. The back of the car was gross. The back of the car was so gross. Have I seen the new Injora axles? Are you referring to the C60 or are you referring to some other Injora axle? Because the answer is conditionally yes, depending on what axle you're referring to. This is the most maxed out axial nonsense that I've ever encountered. It has been so long since I had to try to put one of these servo savers onto a 10 Pro gearbox that I forgot that it's basically the Konami code to put it together. Don't you have a portable pressure washer? I do. Yeah, and I never bring it with me, and then I have to put the stink in the car and then drive the stink home. And then after the stink is home, I use the tiny pressure washer. I have a gallon of water in the car. And I never think to put the pressure washer in the car. I have never once used the pressure washer remotely. That's not something that I'm saying as a source of pride. It's what I'm saying to emphasize the fact that I'm probably an idiot. So the 10 Pro gearbox is a cheat code? If the goal is to arrive at madness, then yes. Cheat code all the way. I literally this thing is driving me directly up a wall. And the way that you have to try to set the mesh on it or the throw is so precise that you can burn a servo out with very little effort. Like, it doesn't seem right. And I've just figured out why. This servo has too much stack height So it's pushing that out. So that is at an angle that it doesn't want to be. See how that's kind of angled down? Because this arm, like, I should be able to just slide this, but I can't. Well, if you were here to see nothing happen, then you're in the right place. Because nothing is going to happen. Every time I try to add another component, like, I can't get this off of here because it's stuck against the linkage. There are no screws in the servo, but I can get the servo out, because to get the servo out, you have to change to the 1.5, remove this bracket, and then everything falls out all at once. Fantastic. Whoever designed that, there's a cold place in hell. When you think about the scale of the universe, you are literally doing nothing all the time. Yeah, but I'm not a nihilist, so... So the source of all of our difficulties is right here. Stack height. Brought down by stack height. Now, guess what we get to do? We get to try to do it again. I guess I've never tried to use one of those goops. Oh, that's fun. This servo's dead. Watch this. Watch this. Ready? Ready? Focus. 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 It's just kind of rumbling in my hand. Ooh. Oh yeah, that guy's DJ Dunzo. Into the circular file. Well, this one's definitely awake. This, okay, all right. This could be a problem with my servo drawer. Can you hear it? It's running. Okay. 0 for 3. 1 doesn't fit. 2 are dead. Okay. 2065, number 3. Oh. I mean, you know what? I didn't check the stack height, but we're just gonna assume that the universe will let us pass on this one. Yeah, the universe definitely chose violence today. So here's what most likely happened. One of these 10 Pro gearboxes this one's dead too. This has nothing to do with endpoint adjustment. It's not attached to a vehicle. If you're doing this in your hand, it's just free spinning. The spline's not turning. If you're just pushing it in your hand, endpoints don't mean anything. I'm running out of micros. Literally 3 in the trash already. This one just runs. Okay. Where's that other goop? Okay. I've got a fancy goop, and the fancy goop has a shorter stack height. I'll tell you what, I'm not getting my hopes up. Do you have a Reefs? I got some dead ones. If you want me to plug in some dead ones, I got some of those. I've had more Reefs servos die than any other brand. That's my leading drawer filler of dead servos. But that's okay, because I've never bought one. So I consider that evening out. We can't give up on the 10 Pro gearbox. That's the problem. I have no other serviceable gearboxes to fit these parts. What are we building? Nothing. We're building absolutely nothing. Because all I've been trying to do is get an overdrive servo centered for, I don't know, an hour? Why not? Here's why not. We'll just keep throwing all the dead things into the trash can. This is just going to burn the servo out as soon as you try to use it. That servo got warm that fast. God, I hate the 10 Pro gearbox. This is, it's moving up the list for me. This might be the worst gearbox Axial has ever made. I still want to... That's an 8.4 volt servo. I still want to give it to the Capra box. But this one is definitely moving. No, the servos probably got put back in the drawer dead. That's the thing. When I pulled this gearbox out of Terrence, the servo was dead, and I just put it back in the drawer. Because that's what I do. When I'm stripping things apart, I'm not thinking, oh man, you should test that. Oh, 10.3 Slushy is... 10.3 Slushy is the hands down worst. That's the worst. But I have successfully gotten rid of all of those. So I don't have to deal with them. These I'm apparently stuck with. Because on top of the rigs, I had a thought like a week ago. I've given away so many gearboxes. Why the nickname Slushy? The 10.3 gearbox, not to be confused with the LCXU. I mean the 10.3 gearbox, the one that has the little cover that looks like a motor on the front, and it has dig and a 2-speed. The 2-speed is vestigial. You will often not know that you're in high gear because high gear and low gear are basically the same gear. And the dig does not work at all. You literally have to press the dig button, roll the vehicle backwards, and then start going again to get out of dig. If you have to use reverse, why do you have dig? The whole point of dig is to not use reverse. If you're free to back up, then what are you using dig for? And I guess that's what Axial says. Just give yourself room to back up, and then you won't need dig. And then on top of that, it's all metal gears, none of which know how to mesh together appropriately. So it's loud. Sounds like a coffee grinder pretty much all the time. And it doesn't have enough gear reduction. It's just the worst at everything. It's the worst they've done at dig. It's the worst they've done at a 2-speed. The motor mount situation where the upper harness to hold it down into the vehicle, they just bespoke. They bespoke the living hell out of it until nothing fits with it, nothing cooperates with it. And then much in the Axial fashion, everybody's gearbox should be 8.5 inches long. Ignore the fact that you can get an equal amount of gear reduction out of something that is less than 1/4 the length and 1/8 the weight. Any advantage to Panhard over 4-link? Scale appearance. Scale appearance and nothing else. There is no physical or functional advantage to 3-link with a Panhard. It just looks more scale. Performance-wise, it's worse in almost, every time. My SCX 10.3 never gave me a problem, not even in dig. Good for you! Write it in your diary. There's no advantage to a Panhard other than scale appearance. A triangulated 3-link front end, the servo has to fight the geometry of the front end. So you need more servo power, no matter what, because you have one point of the Panhard floating, that is the end attached to the axle, and one end fixed at the chassis. Your suspension is going to swing in an arc. You're going to have chassis swing. You can minimize it, but you're going to have it. 4-link just eliminates this. There's always one. No matter what product it is. Here's the thing. Here's what it comes down to. Let's use this as an example. The 10 Pro gearbox is not quite a travesty, but it's certainly not great. Okay? It's not great. This is not an FMM and a transfer case. This is a rigid, these are attached. These are bolted together. Okay? So this is just one thing, right? It's this long. Now it will run a big full-size motor. All of this complication is just to go to between 0% overdrive, which is just 50-50 split, or 40% front overdrive. Not 40% rear underdrive, 40% front overdrive. So we have all of this complication to accomplish a task that 99% of people aren't going to need, right? So I will talk all day about how this, with its little CVD at one end and dog bone at the other, is ridiculous, overcomplicated, and never needs to be used. There will inevitably be at least one person that goes, "Oh man, mine's been great. I've never had a single problem with it." Well, good for you. Maybe the problem is I've worked on too many of these. Maybe the problem is I've built too many of these. I've used every goddamn gearbox that you can imagine. So when I say it's not a good one, this isn't an opinion. This is empirically gathered data. Some gearboxes are better than others. If your Furatech has never caught fire, great! Fantastic! But I get to hear it all day. And that's my own fault. That's my own fault for going on the internet and interacting with people. Sometimes, I was going to say sometimes it pays off, but does it? Does it ever? Or am I just fooling myself? With each passing day, it feels a little more like fooling myself. Probably right about there. I might not know a lot of things, but I do know one thing. Everyone on the internet is absolutely filled with opinions. They're overflowing with their opinions, right? And their opinions, you know what? It's 1:13 p.m., everybody. I'm not gonna monetize this one. You know why? Fuck it. That's why. I'm not gonna monetize this one. Because it doesn't make any fucking difference in the grand scheme of things. Okay? Everybody's got an opinion, and the more vocal and the stronger, the more vehemently they throw that opinion down, the less they know. It's like weaponized ignorance. I'm stupid. I only know one thing, but I'm so confident in my own ignorance that I'm gonna argue with you about it. It fucking kills me that as I stand here sweating right now, the most viewed thing I have ever put up on my channel is that stupid goddamn short about what I referred to as rear caster, right? The angle of the portal box on a portal vehicle in the rear. Yes, I understand. There's no such thing as rear caster unless you have four-wheel steer. If you have if this is your rear axle, you cannot have caster in it. Caster is a function of steering. I understand this. But if I angle this like this, and I refer to it as portal box inclination, nobody's going to know what that is. So I said front caster and rear caster. This is one of those moments. We're not supposed to end a sentence in a preposition, but we do it all the time. Because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. While I'm not speaking Japanese, which is a pretty much intonation-based language, there's a lot of intonation-based stuff that goes on here. we can infer, right? We can infer what is being discussed. So when I say front caster and rear caster, how about, hey, internet, don't be a fucking dickhead about it. You know what I mean. But the comments keep coming. And because I unintentionally rage baited a bunch of fucking morons, they won't stop. So that short has 50,000 views on it. And it turns my stomach. It makes me want to not do any of this at all. It makes me want to just quietly turn the lights down. Still have my tiny toy cars. But the rest of it, fuck. Camber is this. So if you have, tires can't have caster. Tires can have toe in or toe out, presuming this is forward. And they can have, now you're looking at them from the front. This is negative camber and this is positive camber. You'll never see positive camber except on like a VW desert bug. When its suspension droops, its tires will go like this. So we don't have anything in the way of camber unless you overclock your C-hubs on something like an Element. And then what will happen is this tire is, as you can see, definitely leaning in at the top. This is definitely cambered. But that camber is brought about by the fact that there is an amount of kingpin inclination in the C-hub, and then there's the amount of caster. And when you put them together, you get camber. But that camber is gained camber. It's not built into the system. It's not stanced out like a dude that ruined the suspension geometry on his Honda Civic. So, you know, I have never, at least I don't think I have, if at any point I have claimed that I know everything, please refer back to that point where I did that so that I can go back and see it for myself, because to my recollection, I've never done that. I've never claimed to know everything. But I get the people want to be technically correct above all else. They want to come in, they want to push the glasses up and say, well, use inference. It's like last worders. Somebody's always got to have the last. Oh, don't look. Seeing as we're demonetized, right? Like I'm not going to turn on monetization for this because I don't want to have to go through the checklist. I don't want to have to deal with what's acceptable for whatever advertiser to spew their garbage forth on the channel. I have said in the past that I am not one to besmirch another creator because creators all have to go through the same thing, right? We're all in the same idiot race against other people, against ourselves, against whatever it might be. So I am not one to actively roam about speaking ill of other creators. But I will go so far as to say this. There are channels that I don't like their presentation. I don't like the way that they present information. And I'm not going to go into their comments and be one of those people. Well, actually, they're not saying anything outright negative about me. So I'm not going to go out and say anything outright negative about them. If I don't like someone's presentation, that's my prerogative. we don't have to like everything. Everything is not awesome. And I think what works particularly well here in my situation is that when I say that that there are content creators that I don't like their presentation, like, it could be it could be any of them, right? I mean, how many channels could it be that I disagree with the presentation of? What happened with RC Family? So what happened to RC Family was he did a video on, see, they can't get me removed. He did a video on these axles right here. He did a video on these, right? These are not DX44s. These are clones. Clone, 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 clone. These are clones. Now, I never got to see the video that he made because he got a cease and desist, and in order to remove the video or get a strike, which was issued by Deluxe for this and that counterfeit product. That is fully within Deluxe's rights to defend their intellectual property. That's within their rights. I believe in the defense of intellectual property. Now, what I would have liked to have seen is in his video, did he ever make it appear? Oh, he used Deluxe in the name of the video. Okay, that was what I needed to know. So yeah, that'll get you got. Okay? Do we remember back to the time when that idiot, I can't remember his name, I just remember seeing the video, I believe he took it down. The guy who, he got the letter from Traxxas Legal and had to take down a video because of something, right? And he went on this like 20-minute long tirade about how he was going to burn all of his Traxxas rigs in a fire. And it all came down to it, like he got basically, he went past the legal date, like he never responded to the cease and desist. So they went to his internet provider, they went to like Time Warner or whoever and turned his internet off. So he's yelling at Traxxas. That's like you getting in a fight and you get attacked by a dog and not being mad at the dog, not being mad at the owner, but a dude that was standing over at the side of the park went, ha ha, and you're mad at him now. So that's what he did. And he just went over the moon and his anger was misdirected. So if I'm going to pick somebody to be mad at, I'm going to pick them specifically. I've said that I try to be somewhat balanced. And yet I still made that video, the final video with Mr. Hurley's rig in it, which was for that one particular guy. Because he was saying idiotic things on the internet. And now I've started to wonder. He has never once responded. I've not seen his comment, a comment from that name, in any video. Since then, I don't think I ran him off. And also, between when he made that comment and I made the video, there were other level-headed, like, normal comments. Like, was that a guy's kid on his account? Like, what was going on? I don't know. I don't know if I care. It don't mean nothing, as they say. It's 100 degrees every day. It's 95 degrees at 9 o'clock at night. And then there are days where, in an attempt to preserve my own mental well-being, I literally don't go onto my studio page and read comments. I don't want to be the guy that has ended up in the position where he no longer reads comments. Because I would see channels that don't respond to comments, and I'd go, how do you not respond to comments? Well, guess what? Now I get it. Now I absolutely get it. If somebody asked where Irwin was, he's a European, man. He goes on vacation for like 2 months at a time. And if you look at his shorts content that's been uploaded to his channel over the past couple weeks, his shorts always seem to take place in different countries. See, if you're wondering how the day is going, that's how the day is going right there. See, the Gares won't buy Traxxas because of business practices, and I can't say anything negative about that. If that's this, it's just like, if a vegan came to me and said, I only eat vegetables because I don't want to eat meat. Great. That's fantastic. But don't go into some sort of socio-political thing about it. I don't give a shit. Like, whatever you don't want to eat, don't eat that thing. It's like the Hobby Lobby is closed on Sundays. Great, that's fine. If you want to be closed on Sunday, be closed on Sunday. But please don't give me some horseshit reason as to why. Oh, well, so our staff and family can spend time in worship. Shut up. For the love of Christ. How about you don't shove it down our throats? I want everybody to engage in whatever pursuit they would like, right? So long as you're not taking it out of somebody else. As long as your pursuit doesn't absolutely outright try to stop the pursuits of others. You know? But I buy from Traxxas the same reason that I can tell you that in what is now prehistory, Ty Cobb was a good baseball player. Maybe one of the greatest baseball players ever to live. How was he as a human being? Oh, God. Absolute piece of shit. Garbage. A terrible example of a human being. But you know what I can do? I can separate the two. Kanye West is probably crazy. He might have gone crazy at this point. He has definitely said some crazy things on the internet. It doesn't mean that all of those songs that he made, on all those records, on College Dropout and Graduation, all those, weren't fantastic, because they were. I can separate the two. And you know what? Society, despite how cancel culture it has become, seems to be capable of doing the same thing. Because when I get in my wife's car, I don't want to go through the hullabaloo of attaching my phone, because the Toyota multimedia system is a steaming pile. So what do? I just turn on the radio. And what was the first song that came on the radio? Michael Jackson. So if they can play Michael Jackson on the radio, everything is forgivable, right? I guess they can separate one from the other. Somebody needs to keep me more updated. I don't know what I'm supposed to be outraged about. Is it okay? Is I can't believe people think Michael Jackson was innocent. 2 comments down. Michael Jackson is innocent. Lake of America. Like, it always comes out, right? They'll be like, what's the latest one? Tom Hanks Tom Hanks was once on some interview show, and one of the comments up near the top was like, some about drinking baby's blood on the island or whatever. And I was like, here we go, okay? Like, what difference does it make? If it turns out that Tom Hanks was drinking the blood of infants like he's sprung out of an Anne Rice novel, this is going to, all of a sudden, all of those movies that he made, we can never watch. Hanks is a jackass. He can be a jackass. Did we all watch Forrest Gump? Did we all watch Toy Story and Bosom Buddies and everything else that had? Did we watch Castaway? We can't. So all of that stuff is gone now. We got to start over. I still remember it was what, 2 or 3 years ago, when there was the push to change the name of John Wayne Airport in Orange County, because, you know, John Wayne said some problematic things in Playboy magazine in the 1970s. And I was like, what are we doing? We have nothing else. Titanic is the most overrated movie of all time. Forrest Gump is a good time. There you go. Robert De Niro is a horrible person, but I like his movies. See? It can be done. People can separate the two things. Traxxas can be an overly litigious corporation that will go to lengths to defend their own intellectual property. And if you don't want to buy their stuff, then don't. It's great. That's all. That's the only reason you need. Don't act as if buying a Traxxas is endorsing the Illuminati and the greater world order, right? And I have an argument with Mr. Hurley right now. Mr. Hurley, you and I are in an argument right together right now, okay? And here's what it is. Mr. Hurley said all actors and actresses are horrible except Rob Schneider. We'll ignore the last part. All actors and actresses are horrible. It doesn't matter, okay? Who was the rapper that said, I'm not here to be a role model, okay? And I believe the same thing. Maybe don't look up to movie stars, because what do? They lie for a living. They make all of their money pretending to be someone else. That is not a person to emulate. So, you know what? They can be horrible. Every one of them can be absolutely horrible, and it won't change anything. Are they a good actor? There's a reason that the long-running phrase is never meet your heroes. Because you're going to find out that your hero was that representation. The role that they were playing. It's not the person. I watched X-Files religiously. I loved that show. One of my favorite shows of all time. I never want to meet David Duchovny or Gillian Anderson. What if they're terrible? What if they're horrible? Then will my brain not be able to keep the two separated? Will I then suddenly have an overarching desire to change the name of John Wayne Airport? That guy said things about the Native Americans back in the 1970s. He's been dead. He's been dead for decades. We're canceling dead people now. There's some live people that should be canceled. What you should do, I'm not saying this like it's gospel. I'm saying it like it's a recommendation. What everyone should kind of aim themselves towards is don't idolize anything. You can meet me if you want. You know what? It will. I'll tell you this though. It will probably, certainly not get better. Like, you're not going to be like, oh my God, he's even more. In person, he's here in the chat. Ask him. There is more than one person in this chat right now that have met me in person. Am I any different in person versus talking into a microphone? Am I any different at all? Because I don't think that I am. I don't think I have a persona. I'm not smart enough to do it. I could not maintain the facade. And here's why. Maybe because I don't care enough. I don't know. Maybe because I don't like, why would I fake it? That's the question that I always have. Like, why would I fake? Why would I generate a persona to convince people to or not to buy certain toy cars? Like, it makes I am taller in person. Yeah, see, it takes more energy to fake it. And I don't think I have the energy to fake it. Once I got those bottom links on, I started to feel a little bit better about 7% of things. Let's see what that is. Maybe I can do one thing to make myself feel reasonable today. I'm having a day. I don't know if anybody could tell. More handsome in person? Now that's a lie. That's an absolute lie. I think I like you just alone on your Mexican hood references and other things you say and do to myself. I like that guy. Hey. To be fair, all the RC YouTubers that I met are the same person as on video, including Phil Harrison. I don't know who that is. Now see, trying to imagine the raccoon being even more raccoon, that can't be possible, right? That can't be possible. Metal rails, which ones? Is there more to that question? Phil Harrison is Tom Lee RC. Yeah, I don't like him. I don't like his presentation. That stemmed from a couple of things. Primary amongst was he had what I would call the absolute audacity to call the Red Cat Ascent the release of the decade. Which, I mean... Oh, no, yeah, these are stock 10 Pro. These are just stock. How much... Do you know how much you'd have to pay me to say that the Red Cat Ascent was the release of the decade? Well, I'm going to need you to put your imagination hats on because that amount of money hasn't been conceived of yet. Because I assume that amount of money would come with some sort of ironclad NDA. And I wouldn't be able to ever say a true thing again. I would have to sell everything I am. And I mean, I'm not outright saying that the egg is on his face, but then they came out with the Vertex. Wouldn't the Vertex then be the best vehicle of the decade? Because from what I've heard, everybody says the Vertex is better. It's just better. Everyone has a price. I do have a price. I have a price, but that price is ask the genie in the lamp level money. It's the amount of money to where I could just pick a more expensive hobby to do instead of doing this one. Just because somebody sends me something doesn't mean I'm going to be over the moon about it. That's not a guarantee. I don't do brand deals. I've never gotten a brand deal. Don't get me wrong. He's very optimistic about them all because money, but he's not putting on a character. I can believe that. Which rig is better? If the Ascent can do your lines and the Vertex can do the same lines, yeah, exactly. I could definitely make this hobby more expensive. This thing is right, it's still right here. Now it's starting to drive me crazy. No, I don't like that either. I'm in a mind state. I'm in a mind storm. What are we talking about? Oh, Rackavans, you missed all of it. You missed the whole thing. You missed everything. Nothing has happened and you missed it. You missed nothing. There was some cursing, but that's about it. I just coughed and it tasted like metal. Just go into the AC. I don't have AC. I just go into another place that's maybe not quite as hot as this one. I built a $500 rig that's better than a Red Cat RTR after I started with an Ascent. How much of the Ascent was gone by the time you were done? Or I should say, how much of the Ascent was still remaining by the time you were done? Hey, Miata Commuter's here. Now I gotta be I gotta try to mellow out. I feel like we're just getting bonus summer. If you start hearing me say, and look, so let's call him out because he's here. So Mr. Hurley is in the chat today. His name is the blue one that appears up. Really, you can monetize as long as you didn't say the F word in the first 30 seconds? Hey, Mr. Hurley is what we in the polite terms call a shit talker. He talks a lot of shit. And I like that, right? I can appreciate it. He also does he clutches his own pearls and he goes, what? Me? I didn't say anything. No, he's a liar. Mr. Hurley is a coffee drinking, cancer stick inhaling, he's a shit stirrer and a liar, right? That's what he is. And we kind of love him for that. Just like we love the raccoon because he is an agent of chaos, and I have an agent of chaos at home myself. I know exactly what those are like. And I'm kind of forgetting where... See, I didn't do nothing, as he says. He's always done something. That's the thing. I'm starting to side with the raccoon that I don't think that Mr. Hurley is actually colorblind. I think he's been pulling one over on us. Now, to what end? Question mark, right? Like, what do you get? What do you get by convincing a group of people that you can't see color? I don't like, and part of it is because he's inconsistent. Like, if he says that everything is purple is green and everything that's green is purple, how does he know that? Like, he would have to know what purple is, but if he can't see purple, how does he know what purple is? His inconsistency is that he is too consistent. Like, he'll use little emojis and he'll put a green dot up. How does he know what the green dots are? Right? He got a punks out of it. He got an anarchist that is all the colors of the wind. See? He's a rabble rouser, is what it is. He causes trouble. And that's great, right? He played the game long enough to get an ice cream paint job. Correct. No hate, only respect. You gotta respect the game. With the release of the new Vanquish Herb, the new F10W was released in plastic. If that axle was only meant for a limited production rig, they would not have invested in injection molding costs. Gayers is 100% correct. We will 100%, and I'm assuming there'll be a little added in. Gayers didn't mention it directly. Vanquish basically said during one of their live streams that they're not going to do they're not going to do a plastic caged version of the herb because of We Rock. Pull the other one while you're at it. You're not going to make an entire new mold to mold an axle to sell. How many herbs do you think they're even going to sell? Like 2,000? I think 2,000 might be a high estimate total. And they're making those axles in metal too. So trying to claim that they're not going to sell a vehicle that is fitted with them is cuckoo. I'm not buying it. Less than 1,000? Less than 1,000 is probably not a low estimate, particularly on the high-end ones. Are you getting an FMS 18? I don't do little stuff. As soon as I saw FMS's, release announcement thing, and they were like, are you ready for something new? As soon as their wording wasn't, are you ready for something big? I already checked out. I knew it was going to be another FMS 18. I knew it. I saw the silhouette and I was like, it's an 18th scale F100. That's what it's going to be. I want to know how much of a cake bag Carly's getting, since that's basically his cage he built from scrap. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me check my tracking. My delivery should be today. That will be 1 week if it arrives. It's been on the UPS truck since 6:07 a.m. Out for delivery. Still scheduled between... No, that's my son leaving to go to work. Today, August 28th, between 1:15 and 5:15. But the truck didn't leave the UPS depot until 9:59 in the morning. Which, what was that guy doing? Sleeping in? Is there any efficiency difference between the 70 and the 120 Secure ESC? Not that I've seen. No. I mean, I haven't tested it like side-by-side enduro testing, but realistically, I don't endurance test any Outrunner combos. Anything fitted with an Outrunner runs long enough, right? I am still devotedly living by the life philosophy of, if it fits a Fusion, run a Fusion. We should do uppers, huh? It's my son again. He went out, he went in, he went out, he went in. Well, these are in the middle. Well, that's not going to work. But I'm going to make it work. We're past it. We're way past it. You'd think something's going to stop me? It's too late for that, chumps. This stupid thing is going to go together whether it likes it or not. me a little more. Give me a little more. Give me a little more. Little more. Little more. Little more. Little more. Right there. Get out of my way. I think it's 108. Could be 110. The more rearer hole. 120 exactly. Okay. Because we gotta know which is my favorite SCX30, the one I don't have to work on. UPS drivers don't leave the hub until 9:30 a.m. Huh. Yeah, because of the shape of the FMM, it will not fit pinched links. Think of what 10 Pro front links usually look like. The links have to basically go perfectly straight. And they thought they had me, but I don't care. As long as we're inboard of the shocks, we're in business. So probably a 108 or a 118. The holes are exactly 10 millimeters apart. That's a 75. That's a 75. How many of those do I have? So many. Anybody else that consumes short form content? Some of my favorite creators in the world live in the short form range. Stat Stuffer, the guy with the Angel Reese videos, Butter Pecan, I love it. There's a guy that does a bunch of baseball content. His name is Mike Dadino, and he gets as mad about stuff as I do, maybe more. And he has a thing where he calls everybody the little fella, and it's in my head now. And whenever I'm working with something that is disagreeing with me in one way or another, I think the little fella just doesn't want to cooperate. Amazing. I failed on my promise to not update the stance. It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. Hot Take Wheel and Wednesday is one of my favorite segments. Hey, at least, you know, that puts you in a select few. Not a lot of people watch. Oh, Bat Bros are great. I like Bat Bros too. I'm over here just fruitlessly trying to spin this stupid end up. There we go. I was starting to wonder if it was reverse threaded. This is the thing. Oh, want to see something cool? Yeah, I know that guy. Here's the thing about minis. I thought that I had established it well enough, but it never, I guess I haven't. Like I'm foolish again. Okay. I don't have any problem with FCX 18s, SCX 30s, SCX 24s, none of them. Here's what I don't want. I don't want to work on any of them. Period. Hobby Lobby wants to be closed on Sundays. I don't want to work on minis. I'll drive them. Do I think that I'm qualified to judge them? 1,000%. I can judge anything. Besides, some jackass on the internet will just tell me that I'm wrong anyway. I'll just get well actually, you know. I am opposed to the tiny stuff for one reason and one reason alone. And that is, it's a false economy. Unless you live in a place where winter is brutal, just go outside. I still drive. I drive almost every day. Friday is one of the only days that I don't drive because I'm out here prepping for this at 6 o'clock in the morning. I take a break for lunch for about 40 minutes, and then I come and I do this. Sneakers. Excellent. There was a time, there might have been a time, I'll pretend that there was a time, when I would try to reserve judgment on some things. Not anymore. Something is either good enough or it isn't. That's what it comes down to. And that which I have tried to get my head around, oh, so many times. Why do channels make videos and say, oh yeah, my video, winter in Southern California is summer in Scotland? Why does a channel make a video and then they go, oh man, this thing is a game changer, it's awesome, it's the best thing ever, when viewed through any lens, all of those statements are objectively untrue? I don't understand who is benefiting. 10, 15, 25, 32. So we'll probably do a 35. I don't get it. I don't get it. What is so hard about somebody? They get a product, they get it on the bench, they do a review of it, and they go, I mean, it's not great. It's okay. It could have been better. I feel like we don't get to hear that. Everything is some kind of paradigm shift. Everything is changing the game. And don't listen to me. I'm obviously a buffoon because I have the sub count and the view count to show it. The truth in all aspects will set you free. Because I ain't even making guacamole money. I've given so much stuff away this year that kind of caught up at me. It kind of caught up on me all at once, where I was like, oh my God, I'm out of everything. I'm running out of everything. I hate driving, banks, traffic, cats, ice cream, and baseball. Everybody hates those first three things, unless you're driving for the enjoyment of it, and you're not going to be, like, commuting is not driving for the enjoyment of it. Nobody likes going to the bank. Nobody likes traffic. Cats, ice cream, and baseball, that is where we certainly differ. Running out of everything, but still no room for anything else? Yeah. I wish there was a way that I could explain how that works. It just means that I haven't managed my space well enough. There's always more room. I'm just not using my space effectively enough. That's all it means. These better be the right length. I'm going to be furious. I think my blood sugar has started to run low because I was up here and now I'm down here. I have never been, nor is it likely that I will ever be, to Richmond, Virginia. So anything you say about Richmond, Virginia will be a lie and the truth at the same time. Would you like a corn dog? I'm making corn dogs to eat. I mean, they give me the burps, but I could eat a corn dog. You know what? It might be just dumb enough to work. Don't accept food from a raccoon. God, you know what? That's actually good advice. Okay, there's no way Wemchester is a real thing. Just like that guy that lives in England, that the name of his place is like something patently unbelievable. And he's trying to convince me that like Hurdley von Churlyston is like an actual place. I haven't eaten anything but 5 small snowballs. Do you mean the Hostess coconut covered confections? They make mini snowballs? Yeah, I don't have a commute. If I had a commute, I would have quit already. If I didn't just have to walk out behind the house. I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to do this. I had to sell my kid. Oh, are you serious? Let's see if I can shave it. Okay, so that's on me. The stupid Mias rod ends have the little like hacks on them, like you'd be able to put a wrench on them. And I think the hollow ball is too narrow, so it'll hold the. Oh, you know what those are gonna do? Those are gonna self-clearance. So I had to sell my kid on the notion that. So he got a gerb finally. God bless. He got a gerb at the Lowe's. The Lowe's is just under 1 mile from where I'm standing right now. So what we were trying to convince him on is that he actually makes more money than he thinks he does, because he drives 1 mile to work and he gets a 1 hour lunch break. And I said, when you get your 1 hour lunch break, just drive home and eat lunch. So it's effectively like you're making much more money because you don't have to drive. Like, his mother commutes 28 miles each way to work. So I'm trying to convince him of the advantages of working right down the street. He can do a lot of things. He doesn't do any of the things that he could do, but he could do a lot of things. And I'm complicit, you know. It's definitely not a solo tour. I'm partially responsible. I didn't motivate enough. I didn't make his home unpalatable so that it would swell within him the desire to get out, because I'm genuinely worried about what's going to happen to his mother. If and when, I mean, it's like it's an inevitability, right? He's eventually going to leave the nest, right? I don't know how his mother's going to fare. I think she's going to be one of those empty nesters. So, also, I've established with him that he lives on a different planet than I did when I was his age. So I've not placed upon him unrealistic expectations. He's 23 years old. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to figure it out. Oh, God, Raccoon, you couldn't have said anything more terrifying than that. I cannot have her looking more closely at me. This must not be allowed to pass. That's terrifying. I mean, he still lives here now. Well, okay. You've heard about my wife talk about being one of 8, and next door. So there's this building, and then there's a fence, and then there's my in-laws on the other side of the fence. They have, if you want to go all the way and count my wife, they have 5. 5 of the 8 are still here. They're never gone, you know. You know, it might not need the spacer. So that'd be 15 and 7, 22. Let's try without the spacer. How high is the fence? Not high enough. I just hope that he can help with the auto insurance. That's my dream. That's my junior dream. It's a small one. I don't have big dreams. I can't afford it. If he can chip in for the auto insurance that he doubled, that would be amazing. And every time I think about getting back on the bike, I'm out driving on the road and I go, I don't even want to be on the road in a car with these people. I honestly cannot imagine being on a bike. It's terrifying out there. You know what? That's acceptable. That's acceptable. We don't have a ton of caster, but we've got some. Yeah, I would just be riding the bike the same place I drive the toy cars. I'd be out in the flood control. I need an electric mountain bike. That's what I need. Because I'm not in it just purely for the fitness. Just let me go out to the flood control and let me ride around and use it to forget. It'd be nice. Pedal assist, not like a throttle. I won't spend the money. I was in and out of my parents' place in my 20s, but I left before 30 and I've never been back. I was out of the house by 17. Out of the house by 17. I was married. I got married less than 1 month after my 20th birthday. I was 19 years and 13 months old when I got married. Fast forward, and here you are. You know what? That looks okay. That looks all right. All we need is uppers. What is that? Like 127 or a 120? We can go shorter. 120. What? Why would they do that? Is that 10 millimeters? The rear link mount holes are 7 millimeters apart. 7. You're getting me started, Axial. You're getting me started. You just have to yell for a while, and then things will start to work. Have you seen? Oh, Burn Peak? Yeah. Yeah, Burn Peak is great. I watched them a lot. I watched them a lot more when I was on a bike. I still see one every once in a while. Depending on what this rear upper comes out to, we might actually get something done. That's an 85. 85 or 95. 85 or a 90. Okay, 95 is not good. Okay, those are two completely different lengths. I left home ASAP because I had a problem with authority. How about the rest of you? I don't know. I never should have been there in the first place. Ended up that way. My parents never should have been parents. Hey, Mr. Turner. You missed it. I was yelling. My throat hurts a little bit from the yelling. Mr. Hurley's been causing trouble? The little fella? And now I'm just putting links together and sweating. I think it's the sweating. I think that's what it is. I think it's ruining me. Yeah, you missed the yelling. And I feel like now I don't have the energy to yell anymore. Like I'm tired and I'm sweaty. And it's the sweating. I'm pretty sure it's the sweating. When you sweat 24 hours a day, I think it impacts you negatively, mentally. I was ruined before the sweating. Yeah. Can you put a swamp cool on the shed? That's the only reason it's only 85 degrees in here. There's a 6,500 piping air into this building right now. The problem is a swamp cooler is, in general, good for about 20 degrees. It'll bring the air down 20 degrees. It's 106 outside. So there's actually 2 swamp coolers in here. I have a tiny little one right down here. Oh no, it's a full, I got the full shebang over there. One of those giant, they use the big like 4-inch thick pads. Can't remember what they're called because my cognitive capacity is dwindling. I've been so hot for so long. I've been watching Clarkson's Farm season 5. That's good. How have I caused trouble today? I've been good. First things first. No one is ever allowed to judge their own state of goodness. Particularly Charles and the raccoon, because they're both notorious rabble-rousers. The difference is, not only does the raccoon acknowledge it, the raccoon embraces it. Meanwhile, Mr. Hurley is the what? Who, me? What? Me? No. Which is somehow better and worse. I don't know. It's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. The raccoon is catching strays. The raccoon knows. Wasn't BMFRC's... Oh, that's when it does the scent. Press F for 10 joules. It puts it in gray, and you're like, when did their name go gray? Do I really skirt that far under the radar? No, it's just that those two have a radar signature so large that they kind of blot everyone else out. They're the loudest kids in the class. Those are the two that would be sitting at the back shooting spit wads at the girls in the front row. And going, what? Us? No. What? Not us. We haven't done anything. We're innocent, I says. The universe put them pretty close together, but thankfully not too close together. Yeah, kicking the windows on the short bus, 100%. Yeah, Mr. Hurley didn't go to school. He grew up in a coal mine below ground. Started working in the coal mine when he was just 7 years old. 7 years old in the coal mine. What's the Asian lady's name again? My wife asked me and I forgot. Yes, Master Cool. That is correct. Her name is Marie Kondo. Japanese lifestyle expert. She is partly responsible for the ethos and philosophy that we embrace here, which is, does it spark joy? Because sometimes you might have a thing and that thing is perfectly fine, perfectly serviceable, but you just don't like it. And if it's a tiny toy car that goes slow, if it's a toaster, life is too short to just struggle along and be like, well, I already own it. Basically, Marie Kondo is promotes the movement of don't get lost in the sunk cost fallacy. Don't be like, oh, well, I already paid for it, so I might as well keep it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And short of incepting yourself into liking it, I've gotten extremely good with this at video games. Remember when I said earlier I'm very good at not playing video games? I can play a video game for literally 5 minutes and know that it either is or it isn't. I had wanted to buy the Warhammer 40K game, like Space Marine or something, and it was like $60, so I wouldn't do it. So they put it on PS Plus, and it was free, and I downloaded it, and I played the first level, and I was like, well, I don't think I need to do that again. I'm sure glad I didn't pay for that. It's hyper linear, and it was determinedly A video game is like reality, Mr. Hurley, but it's in color. Completely in color. And you don't go to jail when you unalive the prostitutes, as they would say. 4.6-inch tires? Like, what's a good 4.6-inch tire? I didn't like that. It was pretty garbage. It's just so linear. Like the gunfighting and the hitting people with your I don't know, arm chainsaw was fine, but you know, I just boot up Borderlands and play that. Because I knows what I like. I don't think these shocks have oil in them. That's not going to be a problem for us in the short term. In general, everything that happens here just has to get undone again. The only game I can lose time on is Gran Turismo. I've been thinking about buying the latest. And then I go, you'll sink a bunch of hours into it. And then I talk myself out of it. Does your stream have a watermark, or is there a sticker or something in the bottom right corner? So, there's a section in the studio where you can set up the watermark. So it should be like right down here. I can never see it. I don't know if it's there. And apparently it only started working like somewhat recently. Because people have been like, how do you get that thing in the bottom corner? I remember setting that up literally years ago. At least 3 years ago, setting up the watermark. And it's never worked. £7. Portals and metal frame and huge transmission regarding a 4.6-inch tire. It's that size for this build. For me, the tire size is tied to the body more than anything else. Like, a 4.6 tire, like, so baselines are a bit more worn than these. These are off the Twins. But once a Canyon Trail has been mounted and run a bit, That canyon trail is what, about 114? That's like just under 4.5 inches. And I think they're supposed to be 4.6. The new Baja Pro XS are genuinely fantastic. Most canyon trails, when mounted out, will be 4.5 to 4.6 inches. Baselines are even shorter. His are down to about 4.4. Most tires are not truthful in their height. So most times, particularly at 7 pounds, I would probably start with something closer to 4.75 because you're going to get bag. At 7 pounds, you're going to get static bag, and they're going to run shorter. What in the net? What in the hell? This rear axle is way over. And it's because of the lowers. This lower is exactly 90, and this lower is 93. So clearly, either this one is not dialed together all the way, or the two that I grabbed are different lengths. Might be able to get one more in there. It's still like 91. But we can make a 90 into a 91. That's a little closer to the center. Gonna have to undo it all anyway. What was that, 2.5? I needed one full turn, not 2.5. Why did I drop the shock out? You know what that is? I have to constantly remind myself that I'm doing the job of the autonomous box that assembles RTRs, and it definitely does not have to be perfect, because it will be someone else's problem sooner rather than later. And then they can correct the length differentials. Hey, Mr. Turner with the 10. We're doing the things. We're keeping the dream. We're keeping the dream alive. Do you buy your spacers 1,000 at a time? If not, why not? Why are you not buying 1,000 spacers at a time? Is it a fear of commitment? 7, 6, 3. That's an 18. No, that's a 20. That's a 20. We're going to go. Yeah. Third up. We're keeping the dream alive, man. Man! Look at the state of you, man. That's another one. The guy that does, Davey, what are you doing, man? Great. Fantastic. Of course, Tom P. Bates, Nigel and Marmalade. Oh. If you've never seen a Nigel and Marmalade short, Amazon, well, okay, look, listen, look and let, Mr. 1622, let me tell you something, okay? You got a couple of ways of going about it. For spacers, you can go on Amazon. You can buy a giganto 1,000 box of spacers, but realistically, we're gonna use like this bottom row. Most of these are not gonna get used. Like the M3 by 12s, I'm not gonna use those very often. M3 by 15, probably not. 7.5, 6s, 8s, yeah, we'll use these. Your other option is Team K&K, where they're alloy and they're all different colors and they come in little bags. And they cost 8 times as much. For nuts and bolts, as Mr. Truitt just said, McMaster Carr. McMaster Carr is how you do this. Now, you might not want to get here, and I understand that. I get that. My recommendation, if you don't have a bunch of nuts and bolts, go over to Jenny's. Go to Jenny's RC. Go into any of the TRX4s. Scroll down, and there'll be a bag that has all of the hardware that they took out of that TRX4 when they disassembled it. 4mm lock nuts, flatheads, socket caps, and it'll be about $7 for the whole bag. And what you get for that $7 cannot be beaten. You cannot beat what you get for $7. Every time I go to Jenny's, no matter what else I'm ordering, I will throw a bag or two of hardware in there, which is why I have this many TRX4 hexes, because they put the hexes in there too. 6mm hexes come in handy. A lot of the axles now are starting to use 6mm hexes. There's very little oil in those shocks. Maybe a little, but not much. A little bit. Amazon for hardware, like screws, can be done, but you are rolling the dice, and it takes forever, because you'll go on Amazon and they'll say, oh, this is a it'll be one of these like this, and it'll say M3 total quantity 1,000 pieces, and of that 1,000 pieces it'll be 200 nuts, 200 washers, and 200 lock washers, so you actually get 400 screws. So in the actual sizes you need, you'll get like 25 of each screw. We could do better. Where do you get the Amazon knockoff axles? They either show up, if I am purchasing to do a giveaway build or something like that, I'm just going to buy Mias. I have no problem at all spending $100 for a pair of axles. Or if I want to do TRX4 axles, I'll go to Jenny's. Depending on what the pricing is, depending on what the availability is, I can get a pair of TRX4 axles for about $120. And that'll be OE Traxxas, so you know the plastic parts will survive. You can find these on Amazon, the fake Capras like this, for like $50, $60. There's a lot of cheap axles out there. Sometimes it's cheaper because they're cheaper. I'm curious about the axles. I want to see them. These are straight clones. They use 2mm. They're either 2mm or 2.5mm kingpins. But other than that, they're basically these are just straight clones of Axial. Same old style C-hub. Same double shear mounts. Same everything. They're not the worst thing ever. They are not the greatest thing ever either. My box is the size of yours, smaller one. I think I paid $30 in RC. Oh, you mean the size of this? I'm like $40 short of free shipping on AMain. I'll just order back. The K&K Spacer assortment, which I've ordered too many times to even think about. When you start doing this a lot, you really realize, no, these are cheapos. The ones on the video that got taken down are actually quite nice. They're about 190 bucks. I ordered the red spider capper axles and the screws were stripped out of the bag. I find that completely believable. What you've said is entirely plausible. Because sometimes you're getting what you're paying for. I like a good dichotomy, is what I like. So this thing is going to have some crap parts on it, and it's going to have some good parts on it too. Because that's the way we like it. Those are the ones I was asking about. I don't know what they're called, or I would have been more specific. I don't know what they're called either. Come on. Could you just... Still out for delivery? Out for delivery. Time hasn't changed. That's good. At $200 a pair. Whoa, hey! Just knock that onto the keyboard. At $200 a pair, well, close to $200 a pair, there shouldn't be any worry about the Cologne DX44 selling out anytime soon. And they would cost you a decent amount to outfit as well, because they are four-wheel steer. So you are going to need 2 low-profile servos to outfit them. There's the link to the axles, the RC family axles in question. Our UPS is not predictable nor dependable. My guess is he will show up right after I leave to go get a coffee drink. That's when he'll show up. It's usually how it does. Anything signature required, forget about it. I don't like when the container of spacers doesn't click shut. Yeah, the radio's on. It's fine. It's on, yeah, those 18650s are down to 7.8 volts anyway. They need to go on the charger soon. At first glance, it looks like that front axle is a little bit of a wonky. I think it's because we don't have shocks installed and everything's kind of flopping over. Yeah, just making it up as we go along. Spent about 3 hours today tweaking inner axle links in the 8x8x8 for better wheel tracking. That sounds terrible. That sounds like... that's so many links. I'm not a huge fan of a Link Olympics when there's 8 links total. Did I get a new work mat? I don't know what you're talking about. Same work mat it's always been. And I can feel it getting hotter. The humidity drops. You know what? They'll be pretty smooth once they've got juice in them. Once these have got a little bit of juice, I don't have any 10 Pro sliders, so we're going to have to figure that out. Also, I don't, for the life of me, I don't for the life of me know what the reduction is in a 10 Pro gearbox. Anybody off the top of their head happen to know what the output ratio is on a 10 Pro gearbox? So those are threes. Okay. I have a feature video of viewers' home courses. I would need imagery of the aforementioned home courses, and I don't have any of that. As for value LCG chassis, how do you like the UA products compared to higher end options? I want to build a W1 because it's pretty cheap, but I don't want to compromise on quality. I mean, the Rhino stuff is fine. It's not over the moon, but I wouldn't regard the Rhino stuff as extremely economical either. 10.26. Okay, so the 15.33. Okay, so the 15.33 would be 0.0. And then the 10.26 would be with the 40% turned on. Okay, so yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. I had a feeling. Because we were talking Capra axles. So that's 7.2 to 1 at the axle. Seven times 15. That's over 100, right? 15. 7.2. 15.33 times 7.2. Yeah, it's 110 to 1. I don't think that the 10 Pro gearbox is a 260 to 1 out. Because if it was, the gearing would be absolutely fine. Because we'd be, let's say we're at, that's 4 to 1. Oh no, that's still, yeah, that is 2.6, isn't it? Yeah, with the 62 spur. So, thank God, this is going to be really, really, really fast. I mean, it's going to need a motor that's really, really, really fast. Like, we're probably just going to lock it into 40. I hate this motor mount. Why they had to put the big truss on the top of it. Say it ain't so, whoa, whoa. I can't see the second screw behind the servo. I don't know how I do this either. Well, there's a question. It all suffers. That's the obvious answer. I can keep up with chat and build things. I just can't do either of them well at the same time. I cannot, under any circumstance, get the screw into the motor past the servo. servo is right where the wrench needs to go. Trying it with the wobbler. Wobbler on an extension is a great servo installation tool, is a great motor installation tool. It's a great tool for installing things that you don't want to ruin the holes out of, because you can only apply so much torque. So this is one of my preferred setups. The ball end, that's the wobbler. That way, when I'm trying to get the screws started into the motor, I have a much lower chance of stripping anything out, because I can only put this much torque. I've got a handle that's about 9 millimeters across. That's all some people do on YouTube, is concentrate on their chat. Yeah. On the Elite and Pro Kick, beyond price, physics, and 4S advantages and disadvantages. The Elite is great. It really is. I was ambivalent about it at the beginning. I've kind of come around on the Elite. Do I believe that every build needs an Elite? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's a great fit for many things, but it's not like the only thing. So if the question is there an advantage of getting a Pro instead of an Elite? A Pro is ultimately going to handle load better. Think of it as a V8 versus a V6. The Pro has a longer rotor. It's bigger. It has more displacement. But the Elite has a more powerful BEC. It's more compact. It only weighs, it's under 200 grams. There's a lot of advantages to the Elite. It is the Fusion that I think I still have the least of. But I do like it. Would I still buy a Pro today? That depends. Like, if they were the same price, I would just get an Elite every time. But the Pro is cheaper. Sometimes you don't need. Did Holmes ever discuss more after the 2-in-1 video he commented on? Not to me. He may have elsewhere, but I never saw any of it. He lost me in entirety at the remark about people just wanting a plug-and-play option. Yeah, duh. We all want a plug-and-play option. This isn't unfinished Arizona. We're not trying to bring home a furniture kit and build furniture. We're buying a damn motor. At most, I should have to solder a battery plug on it. And that should be the end of my involvement. I shouldn't have to immediately go into a tuna-palooza just to get the thing to turn on. Because there's a nearly endless number of other options where you don't have to tune them at all. People still ask me all the time, what are my settings on secure Escape 32s? I take them out of the package, I solder a motor to them, and away I go. Every once in a while, I'll make some adjustments, but for the most part, I run them the way they came. So how this is going to get fixed is I'm going to remove this. I'm going to get a spacer that fits over that. We're going to determine if we're going to lock it in big or little. So forward is big. We'll determine where we're going to lock it out. Yeah, is it going forwards or is it going backwards? Yeah, and reverse, yeah. Turn down reverse from 100%. But, like, he's talking about going into, like, full tuning procedures. And ain't nobody got time for all of that. It's like one of those little angry, sparky dinosaurs. This motor's never been run before, so there's that. Clicky VFD fix. Supposedly, there's like a spot where there's supposed to be a spacer in there. My experience with VFDs, and I'm up to like 10 of them now, between VFDs and twins, they either click or they don't. What's the beefiest outrunner a 10 BL80 will run on 4S? They don't really care about the size of the outrunner. You're never going to find, well, I mean, maybe. This is a conditional never. The Rhino S20 is probably about the most torque that you're going to get out of an outrunner. But it howls like a banshee. It screams like a banshee. And honestly, outrunners produce so much more torque than a comparable in-runner that, I mean, I can show you. Here's the best. Here's the best example that I can give you. So that's a Rhino S20 1450 in there, pushing this around. And on 4S, I would regard it as potentially too much. Too much. Like, this is how much mechanical resistance there is. There's... Yeah, now, there is an incredible difference between the Rhino S12 and the Rhino S20. The S20, for whatever reason, something about the case design is loud. The only way to describe it is loud. And the Rhino S12 is silent. The Rhino S12 is my favorite outrunner. Wow. Wow. That's actually pretty straight. Yeah, I don't know why the S20 is so loud. I keep putting things away, and then I need the thing. I would disagree with Mr. Sailor, though. There can well and truly be such a thing as too much power. Because, particularly like this guy right here, this guy is definitely living in a universe where too much power is a thing that exists. He has no slipper clutch. He has no place to send that surplus power. So instead, that surplus power will send one or more of your components to the Shadow Realm. Yeah, there's a definite spot in the throttle band for the Rhino where it just gets aggressive. That thing screams. Now, you can get away with a lot via gearing. I just realized I tightened that down with a driver with no handle. Probably not tight enough. My daughter wants me to build her something in a Beetle. Should I go Proline and build what would basically a 1/9 Beetle or a Sand Scorcher on a UTB 18? Okay. I would say split the difference. A UTB 18 is ultimately going to cost you a bunch of money because UTB 18 parts, they're just like a little too not quite there, right? So it's like we call it the UTB 12. If you start off with any 10th scale axle, you could build something to fit under a Sand Scorcher, or you can make it very easy on yourself and buy the Proline Beetle, because then it's going to be easy to find axles, easy to find tires. Any chassis will work, whatever 10th scale chassis you want. Does the Proline Beetle look like scale accurate to a Beetle? I mean, not really. They had to take some liberties to stretch that thing out to a 313 millimeter wheelbase, but it's not terrible. Also, I can say about the new Tamiya that's coming out, it looks amazing. Absolutely no chance. The kit price is $341, and for how often I would drive that thing, even I have to be like, I don't know about that. Yeah, TRX4 Sport, you could literally just take a TRX4 Sport, put the Proline Beetle on top of it, and you're done. The kid will be able to handle the radio. The Titan will go until it dies. Bosh. That's the least involved method. The UTB 18 would be work. Or an element. Some kind of enduro under it would be fine too. The gears might not be as forgiving of people who are not forgiving to throttle. We got a little bit more self-clearancing here. So, the back of the servo horn I can grind it. Make a note. Make a note. Note to self. Have you ever done I do it once a year, Mr. Rain and Blood. I do it once a year. I do the annual update where I do a tour of the course and a tour in the shop. Yeah, I do it usually Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving because I didn't upload. The last time I didn't upload was on Thanksgiving like 3 years ago. So now I just upload the shop tour video on. I think I do it on Thanksgiving. If you want an indication of whether or not you might have been doing this too much, I looked at that and said, yeah, I think I have the correct size drive shaft for that. We're actually going to make this thing move. So Rain and Blood is one of those, he's that guy. He's that guy in my statistics. That are the people that don't watch videos but watch the lives. And whenever I see that in my analytics, I'm like, who doesn't watch the videos but watches the... Now we know. Now we know. I think we might have did it. So I know you make your own links sometimes, but when you go to buy individually sized links, how do you determine what size you will need? I tend to outfit it with a link that isn't quite right. And then I will know what link I need to buy. Mias sells them by the pair in both stainless steel and titanium, as do many other places. Or alternately, what I will do is I will go on the interwebs and I will look at the bags, and hopefully the item description will have a breakdown and show like how long these links are, and then I know. Which is how I end up with so many leftover like 75s and 80s. Yeah, we're gonna make a spacer that goes right in there. Oh, but it has to hold it in that way. It's a little fork, isn't it? There's a little piece. Ha ha! Every once in a while, something goes to plan. It doesn't happen often, little fella, but sometimes it does. I put the 2 mils away, or were they 2.5s? Twos or two? They're 2.5s. I need fingies. Those look kind of long. We'll find out. Yeah, it's not about not having an AC, it's the cost of running it. Around here, a window mount air conditioner would cost around about 65 cents per hour to operate. So if I ran it 5 hours a day, it would cost $90 a month just to run that. So what we need, here's what I need. I need a technician. I need a solar farm out on the course with an off-grid air conditioner attached to it. That all it does is run in that air conditioner into this building. That's all I need. Forget the rest of the house. The rest of the house is not my concern. Did you see that? Did you see me actively remember that I had that little thing? I would buy a street sign, t-shirts, stickers, tire inserts. Yeah, 20, like, give me, let's just blanket the place in solar panels. And then I could just run the air conditioner 24 hours a day. Oh, let me guess. It's going to be, no, that's perfect. But maybe too perfect. There's always surgery. I can't quite get it. Shock have to come off too? Yeah, I think. Wow. Hey! Line right up. How would you respond if I had Amazon deliver 100 raccoon rubber ducks to you? I would start giving them out to people. It's 87 degrees inside the building now. 87. every once in a while, you get this guy, and he just won't go. And then we'll get a different one, and it's going to pop right in. Is there wind you could capitalize on? We have very seasonal wind, and the seasonal wind is brutal. Santa Ana's can hit 70 miles an hour. But like wind today, no. We will get the dead calm. I can't tell. I think that drive shaft is like 3 millimeters too long. And unfortunately, I have a whole slew of them that are the same exact length. Because this is way too short, am I right? Yes. Yes. Oh, I like it. Just got my AC bill, $745. Welcome to Southern California. I wonder if I can actually just grind it. I don't like to grind those. There's not a lot of teeth. This is where I'm going to get hung up. The front drive shaft is going to not want to go. Is that what I'm gathering? Or not? It's the heat soak. It keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter. It's hot enough that it's calming me down now, though. It's so cold in the Harbor Freight. I've been in the new Harbor Freight like 2 weeks. Right after the stream. Well, I believe we may have a future problem. We have future me's problem. I think we're just tippity-tappity touching. And this is a 56. What I'm thinking is I can just sticky tape that right there and then sticky tape the receiver onto this. Oh, yeah. Hey! Beats the hell out of being in the saddle again. Oh, my God. I'd have ridden today. 100%. I'd have ridden the bike today. I probably would have done 40, 50 miles this morning. And when I rolled out of the driveway, it would have been 90 degrees. I'd have done it anyway. I don't believe in limiters. I don't believe in setting limits on ourselves. Oh, you know what? Where are we going to put the battery? Top of the servo, I guess. There's not a lot of room. Not a lot of room at all. No sliders is Just grind off the teeth to touch the drive shaft. See? That's the kind of advice I'm here for. That's quality advice. All the rest of you are all slipping. And you just got caught slipping. I don't like horses. I don't trust them. Okay, we got to install this way. Like that. And we cut another sliver. Put that sliver right there. Then we're just going to bundle a bunch of zip ties on it. This is where Mr. Hurley would get at his E6000, and it would be dry a week after Tuesday, when I'm going to go like this, and then we're done. I'm a Wotech for life. Bundle these up. Be sure to zip tie them down to the spinny bit. How did I get myself to do it at 100 degrees? It was unsustainable. I would drink like 4 gallons of water in a day. What do you say was the model number of your favorite steering servo? The SA75 CVSW. That is my favorite 3S Direct servo. If we're not talking about 3S Direct, I got a whole bunch of others that I like. But the SA75 is my Tricho self-servo. And look, whatever you and the Hurley Quinn do on your own time, that's between you and that. Just leave me out of it. And then what we do is we bundle. We'll throw a zip tie around this. It may need all to get remediated. Then we throw a zip tie around the wires and through the antenna so that that can't get loose. Ah, it's perfect. It's beautiful. It's some of the most beautiful wire management I've ever seen. What's the difference between John Wayne and Jack Daniels? Oh, I don't know. All right. We'll figure out where to put a battery, you know, in due time. I did, full transparency, forget about the servo wire. We should be able to take care of it though. Let's fish it up through here. Ah, yes. Because if you're going to build it in 3 hours, obviously, the focus is on quality. That is Kwalitee. Did you see ProTech has a Mini now? Mini servo? Is that what that email from A-Main was about? I kind of ignored it. I felt like at a glance, I was like, I don't feel like this email applies to me. Okay, now I don't have time to mount the wheels and tires, at least I don't think. So if we're gonna make it move, I'm gonna have to grab random wheels and tires. I'll order a matching So I recently purchased another seat. Previous owner failed to tell me it had 33% overdrive. That's a lot. $89. $89 micro is... Somebody should stop them. I'm thinking, because I've wanted to fit them to something, but nothing has happened, I'm thinking LP super crawlers for this will look pretty good. And I have a set of wheels for them. I can get one of these slapped together. I am rapidly running out of 2.2 wheels. 3 turns to the front, 2.25 turns to the rear. $25% or 33. Yeah, it depends on which way you go. It's either 25 or 33. So what they do is they add the two together and divide it in half, which isn't explicitly how that works, but they do it. They often do. Why must you fight? Why won't you just go together? I feel like I don't think I'm asking for that much. Yeah, 33% overdrive or 25% underdrive. Because you just divide the numbers into one another. And if you divide 1 into 1, you get 1.33. If you divide 3 by 2.25, you get 1.33. But if you divide 2.25 by 3, you get 0.75. At least to see if the scaling looks correct. I don't know, maybe? Maybe? Could be. Doesn't move. Doesn't move. I feel like it probably doesn't move because the battery is sitting over there. But I've been informed on more than one occasion that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I don't know. It could be that it got unicorns in it, you know. Who knows? I was like, what do you mean you don't have time to mount tires? Yeah, it's ringing in fractions. 4/3 is one way and 3/4 the other. I had to change the wheel hexes on these cheap wheels because the hexes that came on these cheap wheels, well, axles, wouldn't fit any hub that I had. Like, I would have been fine with the additional width of the wider hub. Was not to be. I figured out why people say you don't know what you're talking about. You don't do it while smiling like a jackass while saying things like amazing cheat code and best ever. Eh. I figured my delivery was part of it. It's too late now, you know? Like, what are my options now? Burp. And you know, we haven't done a good it came from the parts bins in a while. This one is definitely that. Like, I don't want to buy another drive shaft for it, because then I'll have bought something to build it. And instead, this is a proper binner. It's stuff from the bins. Yeah, if you were engaged with the jackass has won. $50,000 views on that stupid short. I have videos that have been up for 4 years and don't have 50,000 views on them. 99.9% of my videos will never hit 10,000 views. And I can say that. I have over 2,000 videos. And I think the first page is up to 10,000 apiece. So, I don't know, what's 40 out of 2,000? That'd be 4 out of 200. Be 2 out of 100, so 98%. And 98% of videos will forever be under 10,000. Doesn't have time to mount tires. Absolute lack of vision. If I can build a crappy, let's just, whole hog it. If I can build a shitty rig in 3 hours, I can mount some tires in a few minutes. It's the easy stuff. Just listen to how long that thing. So much. This thing could easily be fair wider. You know what though? Let me tell you something. That kind of sits okay. That kind of sits okay. And if we were using some kind of irritatingly small battery, yeah, I should hit 5 million views before the end of the year. I should hit 15,000 subs before the end of the year too. Not that either of those numbers actually mean anything. But, a milestone is a milestone. I can't bear the AI thumbnails. Like, they all look the same. They've all started to look the same. Blow it up with that one. There we go. There's a guy. There's a little guy. Now, let's do this. Got that 45-degree battery angle. to try to keep the wires out of the spur gear. It's not bad. It's not bad. So, I was worried about the horrendous amount of gear reduction, like an absurd amount of gear reduction. So I was buying a bunch of motors when I was doing those brushed motor tests because brushed motor is dead and I'm trying to keep it alive. And I bought an 11 turn, thinking that it was going to be a 5-slot. Oh, it's not. No, that's a 3-slot 11 turn. But as turn count goes down, wattage goes up. So it's not even that fast. Now we find out if we Hey, we're still going forward. Yeah, we can't scoot the mat anymore. Okay, so this is an unintentional little micro test that's now going to be taking place because we have wondered to some extent about the viability, about the feasibility of low turns and an incredible amount of gear reduction. Because, well, we can tell. I'll tell you right here. 56 divided by 13 times 2.6 times 7.2. That rear axle is 81 to 1. Now the front axle is going to be a little bit more brisk than that. Look how slow that rear. I did lock it into 40. I mean, what you got? You know? You can truly feel the gear reduction. That is a 1080 G2. I want to see if this slowpoke can actually get over in it. Ah, there we go. That's a 3S850. If this, you would have a lot more flexibility if you put a 10BL80 in here. Because a 10BL80 4S brushed is good stuff. You'd have a lot more motor flexibility. You know. But any sane person would just put a Fusion in it. We'll just carve those fenders into oblivion. And there's your guy. Look at that. Oh, look at that little guy. Oh, yeah. Could throw an 827 in the rear. Yeah. Take it down to 30. Stunod with a heater. That's a good one. It's a shame about that. The drag brake is actually... it's really good. This is the... I don't remember what HPI called it. But it's... I mean, it's a Humvee. It's a Humvee. It's supposed to be evocative of a Humvee. This one's been floating around for a minute. Sputter sent this one down here ages ago. And looking at it, it looks like the rear body mounts might line up. The little recess actually almost notches in between the shock towers. Yeah, that's all we're fitting giveaways with now is unobtainium vintage bodies. And I think the big tires are doing it. I think we could certainly get away with a 475. But, you know, might as well. Might as well. Yeah, and that will sit pretty much right like that. I have body mounts for it. Should be fairly easy to mount the body. Maybe what I might do, just out of the spirit of laziness, wow. Shout out me. There are no screws in that FMM. Well, because it's not an FMM, if we will recall. It's just part of the gearbox. Well, what I can do, tap some holes, get a little piece of Kydex, put it right here so that the battery is just right there. As long as that's under the body. I don't know. I mean, I don't like the 45-degree battery. Wheelbase is... Dun, 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 dun. Ring the bell, everybody. Oh, this is a giveaway. This is a giveaway build. We are going to interrupt the giveaway builds. Maybe not. Every Friday might be giving away building giveaway rigs. This is a giveaway rig, and it is going to look pretty much exactly like this. The sum total of changes might be, I don't know if I'm going to keep giving radios, because let's put simply, it's not economical for me. I have to contribute everything else and a radio as well. I was getting into an unfortunate habit of putting hop-up parts on stuff too, and I really have to stop doing that. So no more knuckle weights, no more any of that. Yeah, and the giveaway for next week is, oh no, these are Mias super crawlers. These are actually really good. Two six, 6'8". Oh, I'm sorry. It dropped down to 2666, aka 5.88 pounds. 5.88 pounds is not bad when we're considering 10 Pro box. 2666. On 2.2s, that's surprisingly low. And here is about the sum total of what is still going to be needed. I need to put body mounts on it. That's it. It's got pretty much everything else. No attempt to add weight. No attempt to remove weight. Sub 6, 2.2 rig. That motor, those might be dry. Yeah, body's a bit ampy. Yeah, the body's very ampy. I don't think that front tire is seated down correctly, because that's not tire wobble. That's whole wheel wobble. That one ain't doing it. Is that one? I like the one beadlock screw that's halfway out. Only the finest! Wow. That was all the way out. Yeah, you're damn right you didn't get a radio. You've already gotten a radio out of me, Charles. You only need the one. Yeah. Shocks. Shocks are dry. What happened here? Stub's not bent. Oh, I bet I know what it is. This feels real unstable, which is usually the feeling when the little screw pin is like too long, so you can't get over the head of the threads. Bet we can fix it. Yes. Yes, sir. I'd love a wider hex. I'll dig through the bins. Hey. That's one of those. That's one of those crapo axial spur pinion gears as well. There is not a drop of oil in those well, there's a drop. But there ain't much. Yeah, 827 in the rear. Shave that servo horn down, or more likely, just change the horn. Oh, what would the sprung weight be? I would guess over 50%. I'd guess over 50. This thing doesn't really have anything meaningful in the way of unsprung weight. There's no knuckle weights. The wheels aren't heavy. It's not turning a lot of rotating. The axles are all plastic. It's definitely not optimized. But by the same token, it's certainly not terrible. We'll get it carved up. We'll get it mounted up. We'll do all the things, you know. We started with nothing, and now we're all the way over here, so feels like we did something, right? So you take this guy out, and you get into the drawer that says Imar's leads on it, and then you get your lead for JST. And we're going to plug that in into channel 1, the 2S, 7.8 volts. That is at 53%. Then we're going to go into the drawer that says transmitter packs. We're going to get another one out. Plug that in. And we're back in business. Mostly. We're in business light. Well, I'll be out of here before it's 88 degrees in the building, which is nice. .5. And there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, an absolute roller coaster of emotions. I just acid refluxed my lunch burrito, and now the back of my throat is burning. It feels great. I made it. I made it through. We did it. We built a thing, mostly. We built most of a thing. And it'll end up on the whiteboard for testing. And then, man, how far ahead of the game am I right now? Because next week is the giveaway. Not this. This is probably the October giveaway. And I'm going to try to accumulate enough stuff to work on the next one. We've still got that truck to build. I have not nearly enough stuff, but I have some of the stuff for the next 3 builds. Like, it's not like I have nothing of them. One of the builds, hold your breath for this one, that's one of them. I like building them so much that we're going to do another one. So we'll figure out what's going to go under it. That's the hard part. I am a thing. That is true. I can't argue with that. We're all things, everybody. I was hoping that UPS would show up and I'd be able to be like, unboxing! But it's still out for delivery. So maybe we'll unbox it next week, because I am certainly not going to work on it during this upcoming week. Am I slated? I'm pretty much slated for the week. I have like one opening, but I have a handful of stuff that I need to do tests on. I'd like to see a Tonka Winnebago conversion. I have one in a box right over here, but that's fabrication stuff. That's definitely not live stream stuff. That's more video stuff for videos stuff. So somehow we made it. I don't know what happened. I don't know how I got here. I don't know how you got here. I don't know how any of us got here. I'll bid you a fond adieu from the canyon for the day. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. We made it through. We made it. It was touch and go. But we made it. All I have to do is clean up a big pile of links over there. So I'll leave this guy here for you. And I will see you all in the next one.